The fourth studio album from an already hugely successful artist, which went on to be the second best-selling album of the 2000s decade in the US, was released on this day. When production began, the artist made it clear he didn't want to work with any new producers, so the producer of his previous two albums returned. But in spite of his vision, he did end up inviting some new faces, including the legendary Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. When the singer felt the album was completed with 40 recorded songs, he submitted it to his record label, Arista. But he and the company's then president, L.A. Reid, who listened to the record, thought something was missing. Reid said, quote, "You know what? There's like one or two more records that we just gotta get." The artist was displeased with the decision. He felt returning to the studio was the hardest part and needed to remotivate himself. So he brought in a couple more artists, and eventually they came up with a few more songs, one of which ended up being the longest running #1 of 2004. The track list was slowly chopped down from 40 to 17, and on March 23, 2004, Usher released his multi-platinum monster album, Confessions. There was some controversy around some of the subject matter, with some fans being upset about some of the content, including the mistress impregnating concept of Confessions Part 2. But surprise, 2 years later, Jermaine Dupri revealed that the story behind the album is his, saying, quote, "It was about me cheating on my steady girlfriend, having a baby with that other woman, and having to confess to everything that happened to my main girl." The year 1973 played a huge role in the album's sound, because every sample that appears on the album, from Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes' Is There a Place for Me, to Dionne Warwick's You're Gonna Need Me, to Willie Hutch's Max Stroll The Getaway, was taken from 1973 records. It was a commercial monster, selling over 1 million copies in its first week. It became the highest ever first-week sales by an R&B artist, the second highest first-week sales for a male artist, and the 7th highest first-week sales of the recorded album chart's history by SoundScan at the time of its release. Confessions has now sold over 15 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling album by a black artist in the 21st century.